7 surprising things you lose after retirement. Now I know. Retirement, the reward for a lifetime of dedication. But what no one really tells you is how different life can be on the other side. Here are some things I wish I'd known, and I bet you will too. Hey, I'm Graceful Mindz, and I help women over 50 navigate this amazing chapter of life. And full disclosure, my own transition to retirement was a bit of a roller coaster. In this video, I'm sharing 7 surprising things I wish I'd known before I retired. Things that I've learned along the way, and that I see many women over 50 grappling with. These aren't necessarily bad things, but they are adjustments, shifts in perspective, that can make a huge difference in how you experience this new chapter. Let's start with the first point. 1. The missing paycheck. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, that regular paycheck. Even if you've planned for retirement, that shift from earning to spending your savings can be a real mental hurdle. It's not just about having less money necessarily. It's a fundamental change in how you think about your finances. Suddenly, you're living off your savings, your investments, maybe a pension or Social Security. You're no longer accumulating wealth, you're drawing down on it. And that requires a completely different mindset. You might have to think twice about that impulse purchase or that expensive vacation. Or maybe you need to adjust your budget to account for healthcare costs that aren't covered by your employer's insurance anymore. It's a new financial landscape, and it can be tricky to navigate. I remember when I first retired, I felt this weird mix of freedom and anxiety. I had this lump sum of money, but I also had this nagging voice in my head saying, "This has to last." It took me a while to adjust to that new reality, to figure out a sustainable withdrawal strategy, and to really understand my new financial picture. What's key here? Get real about your income and expenses before you retire if possible. Create a budget that works for this new phase of life. Do not be afraid to talk to a financial advisor. They can be a huge help in navigating this transition. On to the next point. Number 2, the built-in routine and the need for structure. At first, retirement can feel like one long, glorious Saturday. No alarm clock, no commute, no boss. Total freedom. But after a few weeks, or maybe a few months, that lack of structure can start to feel, well, a little too free. For years, our jobs provided us with a built-in routine. We knew when to wake up, when to work, when to eat, even when to socialize. Retirement throws all of that out the window. And while that sounds amazing at first, it can quickly lead to feeling adrift, aimless, even a little depressed. We're creatures of habit, and having some structure, even if it's self-imposed, is actually really important for our well-being, especially after 50. It helps keep us motivated, engaged, and connected. Without that work routine, it's easy to fall into unhealthy habits. Maybe you start sleeping in too late, skipping meals, or spending hours just scrolling through social media. And it's easy to lose that sense of accomplishment that comes from having a structured day. I learned this the hard way. I loved the initial freedom. No deadlines, no meetings. But then I felt lost, like I was just drifting. That's actually why I started this YouTube channel. It gave me purpose, a creative outlet, a reason to get up in the morning. So, how do you create that structure? Think about what matters to you. What brings you joy and energy? Build those things into your day, even if it's just for a little bit. Experiment and find your new rhythm. Now, let's talk about losing social connections. 3. Losing workplace relationships. Okay, let's talk about something a lot of us don't anticipate about retirement: losing your work buddies. For years, those colleagues were like a second family. You shared lunch, vented about coworkers or the boss, maybe even celebrated life milestones together. Then retirement hits, and that daily connection is gone. It's a huge adjustment and not an easy one. So, what do you do when your built-in social network disappears? You've got to be proactive. Stay in touch with former colleagues. Schedule those lunches, those coffee dates. But also, branch out. Join a club related to a hobby. Take a class. Volunteer. Think about rekindling old friendships too. Put yourself out there and actively create your social circle because those connections are crucial for a happy, healthy retirement. Number 4, losing professional identity. For years, maybe even decades, you've introduced yourself with your job title. I'm a teacher. I'm a lawyer. I'm a nurse. But what happens when you retire? Who are you without that label? It's a question a lot of us don't even think about until we're facing it. We're so used to being defined by our work. Think about any gathering, any introduction. The first question is almost always, so what do you do? Our careers become such a core part of our identity that when we retire, it can feel like losing a piece of ourselves. It is like suddenly that familiar label is gone, and you are left wondering, who am I now? So, how do you navigate this? Start by acknowledging that it's okay to mourn the end of your career, that part of your life. Then, start exploring. Retirement doesn't mean you have to completely abandon your professional expertise. Maybe you start a blog sharing your knowledge, or offer consulting services on a freelance basis, or create social media content related to your field. You could even mentor younger professionals. Find new ways to use your skills and experience, but on your terms. Number 5, the responsibility shift. Retirement doesn't just change your work life, it shakes up your home life too. We picture retirement as this time of freedom. Finally, no more deadlines, no more demanding projects, no more pressure to perform at work. medical advice. Looking back, I wish I'd known all of this before I retired. It would have saved me a lot of stress and uncertainty, that's for sure. But you know what? Every challenge has been a learning experience. So, my advice? Embrace the unexpected. Be kind to yourself. Prepare for mental challenges while you prepare for physical ones. And create a retirement that fills you with joy, purpose, and a sense of adventure. If you're looking for more guidance on finding your path after 50, click right here for my video, Finding Your Purpose After 50, How to Start Over and Thrive. As always, thanks for watching and see you in the next video.